Hello, Westbranch Middle School, and more specifically, Mrs. Arlen's class. My name is Brendon Urie, and I'm in a band called Panic at the Disco, and I'm honored to be a part of your Words of the Week. And let's just jump right into it. First word is theme, and that's a subject of a presentation or a talk. For example, my last album was called Too Rare to Live, Too Rare to Die, which is a quote from Hunter S. Thompson, who wrote Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, because the entire album's theme was Las Vegas. My time growing up there, stories of my childhood. So there you go. Next word is metaphor. And an example of a metaphor is if I was talking about the sun and I wanted to describe the sun, I'd say the sun was a golden flower. Now, the sun's not typically a golden flower, usually, but I like using it as a description. The next word is simile. And a simile, here's an example. I'm a very loud talker when I'm with my friends, so I would say I'm as loud as a lion, because lions are typically pretty loud. Next word is personification. An example of personification is basically humanizing inanimate objects. And that would be like the tree stood tall and proud. Now, trees don't really exhibit pride, but it's fun to use that as a descriptive device. The next word is hyperbole. I'm very familiar with hyperbole because I use it quite a bit in my daily conversation. Hyperbole is, let's say you're going out with your friends and they're taking a long time to get ready and you're saying, oh, my friend is taking forever. Like, they're not really taking forever, but it feels that way. It's a good way of describing it. The next word is genre, and a genre is just another word for a category or a way of labeling something. So someone would ask me, what genre is your music? I would say rock. It's rock music. Next word is foreshadow, and that is basically in any story, it's the warning of a future event. They put a device there that hints at something happening later on, and then you catch on to it as the story continues, and it's really fun. It's like a nice little treat to have, a little Easter egg. Next word is oxymoron. And that's basically a marriage of contradictory terms. So, for example, if you were looking at a piece of clothing you didn't think was particularly good looking or attractive, you would say, you know, that item of clothing is pretty ugly. Now, pretty means one thing, ugly means another, but you use both to describe something in a similar light. The next word is cliche. I use cliches quite a bit. An example of that, basically a cliche is an overused expression or an overused phrase. You'd say, something people say a lot is, don't count your chickens before they hatch. There's some truth to it, but that's a cliche. It's overused. And the last word is flashback. I love using flashbacks in storytelling. A good example of that is I'm a really big fan of the Indiana Jones movies. And for the first two, there's a trilogy, and the first two movies, they talk about how scared Indiana Jones is of snakes. And then the third movie, they go back in time and flashback to him as a kid and explain why he's scared of snakes, his first run-in with snakes. And it kind of explains everything, gives you a hint at more of the story build. And so there you go. I'm Brendon Urie at Panic at the Disco, and thank you guys very much for letting me be a part of this. And farewell, Westbranch Middle School and Mrs. Arlen's class. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you learned something. Bye.